So today, it is my honor and privilege to be on the podium with Reverend Bill Whitley. He is our speaker today for our special service. So I'll tell you a little bit about him. Reverend Bill Whitley is a minister with the Metaphysical Chapel of Life and has been a chapel member since October 25th, 1985. Bill currently serves as president of the board of directors in the Church of Enlightenment and is the lead minister for the Metaphysical Chapel of Life. Bill is a founding member of the Church of Enlightenment, which occurred on November 9th, 1997, and the Metaphysical Chapel of Life, chartered through the Chapel of Enlightenment, April 26, 1998. Bill was instrumental in helping to establish both organizations. He previously served on the board of directors of the Bridge of Light and was a founding minister with the Chapel of Life, chartered through the Bridge of Light on April 11th, 1986. He's been around a long, long time. But he's only, 30, so I don't know how that happened. But anyways, Bill was a guiding influence that helped the Chapel of Life evolve into the current Metaphysical Chapel of Life. And we are grateful to him that he started it, established it, and is still here, and we are thriving. So please join us in welcoming Reverend Whitley to the podium.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Well, I knew this was going to be an unusual day, but I didn't know the unusualness of this day was going to begin before we even got here. On the way here, we encountered a large traffic jam and backup on Route 10, about a mile from town. Now, why is that unusual? We live in Rushmere, Virginia, and there's no traffic Sunday morning on Route 10. So when we got to the bridge just before we get into town, lo and behold, what caused the backup? We thought it must have been a massive wreck or something. We didn't know what was going on. We just knew we were in a line and sat, like we were going across the bridge tunnel, but no tunnel. Well, when we got to the bridge, it was a broke down church bus. So the church bus had blocked the traffic in both directions going to Smithfield. So we finally got around that, pulled up to the stoplight. That was the first unusual event. Second unusual event occurred. As we were waiting for the light to change there on 258 in Smithfield Main Street, a pickup truck comes around the corner and heads down towards Great Spring Road. Well, that in itself may not be unusual, okay, but we're not white, remember now, out in the country. Debbie didn't see it. So she was paying attention to driving, which is what she should be doing, right? So I looked at the pickup truck and thought, wow, that's unusual. Well, it was a pickup truck with a dog box in the back. In case you don't know what a dog box is, it's a box in the back that's got a roof on it and it's open, and the deer hunters put their deer dogs in it. It covers the whole back of the pickup, okay? This is what we're looking at. I'm looking at. And I looked at it, and there was these golden stringers hung on the back of the pickup on the dog pen that was on it, and they were flowing behind the truck. And I looked at the truck, and it had shaving cream on it, decorations on it, and words on it. I told Debbie, somebody's done got married, and they're going down the road to their honeymoon with the dogs in the back of the pickup. So that's the Isle of Wight morning that started out unusual. Now to today's events that are going to be unusual. I usually begin all of my talks by sharing scripture from the Bible. And I've done that since the very first time that I ever did what we call a sermon. And that was in the Methodist Church at age 14. So it's been a long time that I have always used Scripture before sharing, before talking. I am not going to use Scripture this morning. Third unusual event. And why is that? I could not find the word that defines my lecture in the Bible. I looked through several concordance. I looked through several concordance online, and I finally gave up and tried Edge and Google. And Google said, we can't find this. And the thing under it, the paragraph under it said, this word may not be in the Bible. So my lecture today is going to be on a word that is not in the Bible. And instead of Scripture, I'd like to start by sharing two quotes. I'm calling them quotes, but they may be paradox. They are something to ponder. So listen carefully to what I say. There may even be a koan, okay? But these are the two quotes that I'd like to share. The first quote. In knowing and accepting the oneness of all, we discover the uniqueness of one. I'll read that again. In knowing and accepting the oneness of all, we discover the uniqueness of one. Second quote. When the pressure of our beliefs are compressed in darkness, black as coal, the diamonds of illumination will emerge. I'll read that again. When the pressure of our beliefs are compressed in darkness, black as coal, the diamonds of illumination will emerge. Most who have heard me speak know that my topics are usually on subjects about knowing and understanding oneness. Oneness with each other and oneness with God. Understanding oneness. I'm sharing with you some of the titles that I've spoken on in the past. The power of forgiveness. How to be happy. How to be spiritual. How to be psychic. The golden rule. The power of love. Accepting others. And quite a few more lectures since I started at age 14, okay? This can best be summed up by sharing a lyric from a song that we used to sing here in the chapel. And the name of that song is Look for the Common Ground. And the lyrics are, you and I, we're so alike. 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 If I were to choose the lyrics for my talk today, they would probably be, you and I are not so alike. You and I are not so alike. And the title of my talk today is the metaphysics of uniqueness. The metaphysics of uniqueness. The word unique and any grammatical change of it does not appear in the Bible. I thought that was unique in itself and unusual in itself, that unique and uniqueness does not appear in the Bible. Not as a word. Most of my talks, as I said before and as I explained to you, were based on the understanding that you and I are so alike. And that you and I are so alike. And that will lead us to happiness if we understand that principle. Today, I want to offer a different perspective on how to be happy. What I want to share today is that understanding and accepting our own uniqueness will lead us to happiness. Understanding and accepting your own uniqueness will lead you to happiness. This is not something that you have to do. It's not something you have to learn. It's not something you have to learn. It's not something you have to be taught. It's not something that you go to a class to get. It's not something you read to know. It's not something that you have a guru to reveal. It's not something you need a spiritual master to find. I want to read to you the definition of uniqueness. The quality of being the only one of its kind. The quality of being perfectly remarkable, special, or unusual. You are the only one of its kind. You are the only one of its kind. You are particularly remarkable, special, and unusual. Right here, right now. Just as you are. I want to share some examples of uniqueness. And the first one I want to share, you already know, but I don't know if you've thought about how unique it is. And there's not a person in this room that doesn't know the first one I'm going to share. Every snowflake is different. There are billions and billions and trillions of snowflakes that fall. But no snowflake is like any other snowflake. Each is unique with its own beauty in itself. There is no other like it. God made you much greater than a snowflake. God made you much greater than a snowflake. The population of this world right now, and I looked it up because there's a little clock that takes how many people will be born each day, what the population is at this moment. Population 30 seconds ago. So this number is wrong that I'm going to give you, but it was good. Look when I looked it up, okay? Population of the world right now is somewhat in excess of 8.2 billion people, and 4.2 babies are born each second. You know what? In that 8.2 billion people, there is only one you. We each have unique fingerprints. No fingerprint is the same as any other person. That tells you right there, there's something unique about you. Well, there's also something else on your body that's the same way as your fingerprint, but I can't say what that is. But we saw it on TV the other night on a show called Funny You Should Ask as a question that was presented. But there are many parts of you that are unique. So the whole of you is unique. You are particularly remarkable. You are particularly special. You are particularly unusual. Accept and embrace your uniqueness. It's hard to comprehend that in 8.2 billion people on this earth, that I'm unique. There's nobody else like me. But your uniqueness is even more extraordinary. Your uniqueness is even more extraordinary. In the entire universe, which encompasses everything, I'm speaking of now, the entire universe, all there is no galaxy, nebula, star, or planet that is the same. Can you comprehend that? No, it's infinite. It's beyond comprehension. Not a single one is like the other. They're each unique. You are also unique in the universe. No matter other people on other planets, how many aliens there are, they're each unique too, just like you're unique. There is nothing in the universe that is not unique. Have you ever thought about that? No, I haven't until I woke up the other night and I got it in a dream, which is I'm now sharing with you. Because it came from somewhere beyond my normal everyday mind. It's not something I would have ever thought of. So again, I say, you are particularly remarkable, unusual, and special. Your uniqueness does not stop with your earthly and universal uniqueness. You hear what I said? Your uniqueness does not stop with your earthly and universal uniqueness. Your uniqueness precedes you onto the other side and into the spiritual realms. Now, this is kind of contrary to what I'd always been taught in metaphysics and spiritualism, that when I went to the other side, I'm going to merge with God and the God force, and it's all going to be one. Not an individual. But as a result of my 3 a.m. wanderings of my mind, I had something that said to the contrary. You are a unique spiritual being. Spiritual means on this side and the other side. But you may wonder, how can that be? Okay, I'm questioning all of our beliefs with what I'm saying today. I'm saying with the first thing I started with, ponder and think what I talked about. I don't ask you to believe me. I don't ask you to believe the way I believe. I just asked you to have an open enough mind to let it enter in and ponder what I'm saying. I said at the beginning of my talk that most who have heard me speak know my topics are usually on the subject about understanding and knowing that oneness with each other and the God force. Oneness with each other and the God force. I am that I am. I am that I am. The Father and I are one. I am God. God am I. God and I are one. I still believe that. I am that I am. I am one with God. I also believe that in my oneness with all, I still retain my uniqueness. If we are each unique, then how are we one in the all? One in the whole. How are we all one in the oneness of the all? I asked you to do something right now. Look at the clothing you're wearing. Look at the clothing of the person next to you. The shirt, the dress, the pants you're wearing are all each a unique whole. However, in the hold of each garment you're wearing are individual threads. Each thread before weaving is a unique individual thread. Look again at the clothing you're all wearing. Not only is it made from individual threads, there are threads of different color, and there are threads of different material. But when the individual threads are woven together, they make a whole shirt, dress, or pants. You are a thread that is being woven into the tapestry of the universe. You are a thread that is being woven into the tapestry of the universe. I'd like now to share a quote from Marianne Williamson. And you've probably heard, I know if you've been here before, if you heard some variations of this quote, probably many times here, okay? Because I know I've shared variations of this quote, and almost everybody that's spoken from this podium has shared variations of this quote. We are like waves in the ocean, thinking we are separate from other waves. But waves can't separate themselves from each other, and neither can we. There is no place where you stop and I start. There is a oneness of which we are all a part. Let's take a deeper look at that quote. There are many waves crashing on the shore, but there is only one ocean. Each wave is a part of that one ocean, but each wave is unique. Did you hear what I said? Each wave is unique. We are a wave in the vast ocean of oneness, but you are not like any other wave. we are unique. So accept, embrace, and love your uniqueness. Accept, embrace, and love your uniqueness. Let your uniqueness shine. Let your uniqueness be your light. Hear what I said? Let your uniqueness be your light. With all of that in mind, you may still wonder, how can I still be unique if I'm a spiritual being? How can I still be unique if I'm a spiritual being? If I'm a spiritual being, am I not then one with the whole and no longer separate? I'm here to tell you that you already know the answer to that question. You're here today, aren't you? You're sitting here listening to me, aren't you? If you're doing that, I'd say you believe in metaphysics. You believe in spiritualism. You believe in spirituality, or some aspect of it. You believe in communication with those in spirit. Now, those in the spiritual realm are still the same as they were in the physical. If not, you could not communicate with and recognize them. If not, you could not communicate with and recognize them. So even in the spiritual realm, we remain unique. And you know that because you're here. And the reason for that is they carried over the traits that they had in the physical into the spiritual. They also carried over their own uniqueness. Weird Uncle Harry still was Uncle Harry, even in the spiritual realm. And that's the way you recognize him, or whoever. So, uniqueness, your uniqueness carries over into the spiritual. You are still unique, even in the spiritual. Bottom line, I like bottom lines. Sometimes it takes me a while to get to them because I'm leading up to try and convey in a way that's understanding. Bottom line, you are a unique spiritual being. So if you really want to be happy, it's quite simple. Accept and embrace your uniqueness. So how can accepting and embracing our uniqueness make us happy? If you truly understand, if you truly know beyond understanding, embrace and accept your uniqueness, you no longer have a need to compare. You no longer have a need for judgment. You no longer have a need to covet. You no longer have a need to understand. You no longer have a need to understand. The attempt to understand leads to comparison, judgment, and coveting. So as I said, if you really want to be happy, it's quite simple. Accept and embrace your own uniqueness. And this can best be summed up by the sharing of the lyrics from a song again. And there's another song that we used to sing quite often in chapel, and some of our older members here will know immediately what I'm talking about. And the name of the song is, I love myself the way I am. And the lyrics are, I love myself the way I am. There's nothing I need to change. I'll always be the perfect me. There's nothing to rearrange. I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself the way I am. I stand here before you. I see you and embrace your uniqueness. I see that uniqueness as a thread of color, love and light, already woven into the tapestry of oneness. Let your uniqueness be your light. I'd like to close with another quote. And this quote is by Patricia T. O'Connor. There are no degrees of uniqueness, because the unique is absolute. Thank you for allowing me to share.